here are the top reasons why you should stop jerking it. For good. You're done. Finito. We're never doing it again, okay? That is what you're gonna come to the conclusion of by the end of this video, okay? Firstly, when I say jerking off, cranking it, whatever else, we're referring to masturbation, primarily to porn, and ejaculation, something that many consider a harmless hobby or part of normal sexual function. I'm of the opinion that cranking it in this context is degrading to your health and energy on so many levels, and you're going to see so many improvements in your life as a man when you refrain from doing this. I am not saying all sexual expression is bad, like some people argue, you know? You can have sexual experiences. In fact, it's a pathway to higher consciousness when done with the woman that you love. But cranking it and busting excessively is very limiting to your energy and life overall. And here's why. Firstly, let's look at the spiritual side of things, the philosophy of why we shouldn't do it. Our mission as souls experiencing this reality is to elevate ourselves, practice discipline, improve our energy, learn lessons, and ascend, put simply. Cranking it, for various reasons, degrades this process. It harms our ability to do all these positive growth, expansion of consciousness things. Our goal should be to become a realization of our higher selves, to become a higher being in today's fallen world, as I'm sure most of us have experienced or can view and see what's going on around us. A lot of it is fallen behavior, low level, low vibration stuff. And our mission should be to cultivate ourselves so that we grow out of that. So we want to be someone that doesn't fall victim to the low-level mass media programming that we see, the base sexuality. Someone that opts out of that begins to win because they know that their inherent power begins at the level of sexuality. And once you reclaim that and bring it into yourself through the practice of not masturbating, you begin to ascend. It's really the base level. It's your base chakra system, which energizes yourself from the very beginning and allows you to elevate to higher levels. So when we reclaim this energy and this power, we begin to improve ourselves and we win. The powers that be know this, right? It's why our culture is so heavily sexualized, because those powers know that a population of men that has their sexual energy depleted and diverted in a population is easier to control. They're more docile. In fact, in some wars, they literally have broadcast pornographic material over the airwaves to the people that they were trying to conquer in order to increase docility and distract these people while they go in and attack and conquer them. So these guys were gooning off to these TVs that they hadn't experienced porn before, and then this other army comes in and wipes the floor with them. It's all distraction, right? So all of this is to say is when you make the decision to stop jerking it, when you do it, you become one of the few who is shrugging off this mantle of modernity which weakens you. You're taking a vote with your actions to become stronger mentally, physically, and spiritually. And to succumb to lust, right? Everyone's heard it in the traditional religious programming, but what is actually happening? To succumb to this lower level, you're degrading your spirit. Masturbation can be energetically toxic for the reason of it's conditioning your brain to become aroused like by yourself rather than with women. And even worse, if you're using porn, you're conditioning yourself to be the cuck viewing this thing, like you're watching other people do it. It's really weird. It's an aspect of modernity which is obviously not normal, it's not natural. It is, let's say, it's very frequent and lots of people do it, but it isn't normal and it should not be something that we do in our lives, in my opinion. So here are the benefits that you will feel when you begin to control this within yourself and you just simply choose not to live that life anymore. You're not going to jerk off. You're not going to do these things. You're going to take this other path. What do you experience? Well, stronger aura. Aura farming is mainstream knowledge in today's world. Most people, I think, consider it a meme. They think, yeah, he's got aura, but they're not actually catching on to what's happening. The meme speaks to a truth behind it. You know, people have an electromagnetic field, an aura, which before was kind of shrugged off as woo-woo nonsense, right? But you can literally feel it. You can feel when a person has a stronger aura or a weaker aura. There's a sense of an energy behind them attached to their local body, which has some effect on us. You know, if someone has a strong aura, we're like, whoa, okay, there's something to that person. They have an energy behind them. That is an aura. It's tangible. You can see it. It's not woo-woo. People that are jerking off, they have weaker auras for many reasons, right? But think of the aura of someone that's like spending hours in their room looking at porn and doing all these things. Like, they're coming out, their aura is tainted by all of these other sexual energies, and you know, porn is a whole different topic with what energy goes into that, but you're bringing that on by viewing it and thinking about it and consuming it. And then also just on a biological, physiological level, if you're depleting yourself through ejaculation, you're literally like losing aura points each time. Your aura is getting weaker and weaker because you're losing that chi energy, you're losing minerals and other things which sustain you and sustain your biophysical energy. So your aura is going to be weaker. So when you make that decision to stop all this stuff, your aura gets stronger, which obviously that's a good thing. If you want to aura farm, then stop jerking off, basically. You're also going to experience more energy. There's less depletion of the fuel within you, and you're not siphoning your energy off and releasing it outside of your system. So that means there's more energy for your body and life in general. You have more energy to do things in your life. You can achieve more. You can do more activities. You can practice things more. You can just, like, literally, you have more energy within yourself to bring forth and creatively put energy towards in order to create a reality, in order to create something that's good for you. You get sick less often, you can go harder in the gym, you even need less sleep. I've seen this within myself, I've seen it with other people that I have coached over the years, okay? You get more energy when you stop jerking off, when you stop ejaculating. Constantly draining your vital essence outside of the body is what depletes you. Semen requires zinc, other minerals, also just general energy. Some of the food that you're eating goes to replenishing that essence within you. So if you're constantly, like, literally making it leave your body has to replace that, and you end up just, it's like you're pouring your fuel outside your fuel tank of the car. Of course, therefore, it's not in the system anymore. You're not going to be able to use it. So you get more energy when you keep that in your body. Very simple. Another massive benefit that you'll see is an improved dopamine response. Anything that spams your reward systems eventually blunts the dopamine response from other activities. So this means that other activities are inherently less attractive and less rewarding because you're less likely to simply enjoy simply going for a walk because of this dopamine blasting that you're getting from this self-sexual activity, and especially watching porn as well. When you're properly sensitized, you can find joy and enjoyment in the simple, disciplined life of healthy activities. You get off this hedonistic treadmill that a lot of us can, we've been on the hedonistic treadmill before, but getting off it means you find pleasure and reward in the things, the simple tasks that will healthily build our life, which is fantastic. Scrolling and social media in general, that also is a massive spam of dopamine that's relatively unnatural, which also brings that reward system down and impairs our ability to enjoy the rest of life. So for masturbation and porn, this is a huge dopamine explosion. When that's excessively repeated, you get hyperstimulation, and it kind of, real life can no longer compare to the brain response that you're getting from looking at things and constantly sexually stimulating yourself in that unnatural way. For example, when you're normally sensitive, when you have a healthy sensitivity with these things, with your dopamine, but also your stimulation to sexuality, you can brush arms with your girlfriend and you become aroused in a positive way. This is the default state. This is like the natural, invigorated, wonderful state that we should be in. Think of a tiger walking in a forest, right? And he smells a female tiger in heat, and suddenly he's, boom, boom, I'm activated, I'm gonna chase this female, where is she? Doesn't matter if she's 10 kilometers away, I'm gonna find her. You know, that is the stimulation of sexuality, really, that is natural. Humans obviously a little bit different, but think about if that tiger had been gooning in his tiger cave for hours before he went on his walk and smelled this female in heat, he's not gonna have that response. He'd be like, oh, I was watching tiger videos earlier, I don't really care about that because I've already blunted my sexual response with these fake artificial tigers on screens. You know, bit of a funny example. However, we can apply it, and that is what's happening. You've got this blunted response to what should be a natural reaction. Ultimately, it's about resetting your default sexual state, your default dopamine state. If you found yourself lacking motivation for life in general, it could be because you're hyperstimulating yourself through social media, but specifically through porn and masturbation as well. So if you want more motivation for life for these other things, which can sometimes be boring, but they improve your life and they are significant in terms of discipline, then that's the mechanism that's occurring there. You will see higher sex drive. The world is full of soy boys who are not pleasing their women. This is partly due to poor diets, poor health, blue light, but it's also majority down to the fact that they're depleting themselves to pixels on a screen. There is not enough sexual energy left for their relationships, for their girl. And again, the comparison of all these hundreds of videos compared to real life is not the same. When your only outlet is real sex, as it should be, you end up having more sexual activity because you have more energy going into that one goal. And then also that activity is more intense, it's more vibrant. There's more energy behind it, which is a positive thing. So there's more desire and the experience is going to be heightened overall, which is obviously a great thing for everyone involved. Clearer skin, due to no longer losing your minerals through depleting of ejaculation, you'll find that your skin and general aesthetic health is improved. Your hair can be better because you're no longer, your nails, like all of these things, you were depleting these minerals constantly. Now, again, they're in the body, and that energy and those minerals can go into repleting yourself instead. Additionally, ejaculation is associated with lower testosterone levels. If you want to be higher test, stop jerking off. Stronger erections. Every day, I see guys younger than me, young guys, who are looking to medications in order to solve their erectile dysfunction. They have issues with getting hard. That's insane at their age. And, you know, there's many different reasons for this, but it's a complete opposite of how it should be in our youth, brimming with vitality and energy. There are many contributions like general health. I can go over those in a separate video. However, all other factors being the same, someone that cranks it all the time will be softer when it comes to the real deal. No one wants that. You don't want that, right? Every guy's felt it comparing when it's been a while since you've had sex compared to if you've been busting it all weekend and then you have sex. It's a different experience entirely. You're not as hard, your body is less engaged, there's less energy involved. It's a worse experience for everyone. So if you want stronger erections, stop jerking off and you'll get them. Motivation for women. You become much more motivated to actually talk to girls in real life if you're not jerking off. I've heard that Zoomers are not even talking to women these days, and I've seen millennial guys my age who it was just easier for them to go to their room and look at the screen instead of actually talk to women. It's easier because there's no chance of this scary rejection. You know, it's kind of a cop-out. It is a cop-out. It's weak. I do understand the feelings of some guys these days because of the, let's say, the general quality of women, general quality of men and women is lowering because of all these effed up things that have been put into our society and working against us and our poor health and everything. But for guys, there's seemingly less motivation for them to talk to women because they think that, you know, there's less quality and people are ruder in general, whatever it is. I see that side of it as well. However, how are you expecting to find the good girls, of which they do exist, they are out there, if you're not talking to any girls? Like, you've just given up. You're just stuck in your goon cave, siphoning off all that motivation into tissues. It's useless. And you're not going to look back in your life and wish you'd done more of that. You know, even if the girls are lower quality, as you say, okay, you make conversation, you realize you're not a match, and then you go on, and you're still social and you're still trying. But just to give up and just to, like, there's even less competition these days because most guys are checking out because of all the things that I've mentioned. They'd rather just look at the screen. They've been psyoped into their depleting their sexual energy in this way. And if you're listening to this video, then it's like, hey, take it on board on yourself to not be one of those guys that get taken out of the gene pool because they've been psyoped into watching porn and jerking off like a trained monkey or something. I mean, yeah, so you'll have more motivation for women. I'm not even saying that the motivation to talk to women should only be sexual. However, that is the start of it. We're programmed to find a mate, to reproduce. There's that sexual connection, and that motivation to do that, to then talk to someone, which hopefully you align on energy, you align on values, and you can build a life together, and all that wonderful stuff that comes out of that. You're going to be less motivated to even talk to women to start that if you're just cranking it at home, which is not a good situation to be in. More love, less lust, and more connection will come from ceasing to masturbate and other things. So more love, less lust, and more connection. This is the things that you'll find when you stop seeking just this 10-second self-pleasuring experience of the orgasm in regards to sex. All of your other sexual interactions become somewhat, they're higher experiences of sexual energy, right? Sex no longer is like this transactional thing that's just about the orgasm when you've said, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. One, not within yourself and just waste it like that because you need to get off, right? Now your sexual energy can express and kind of transform and evolve into this more loving, more caring, higher thing, which is much, much better to be. And, you know, if you're in a relationship, you can experience that directly. But if you're not in a relationship, you can transform that energy within yourself, and other people will sense that, man. Like, other people will be able to feel that in your aura, in your own expression of energy, compared to a guy who's very lustful, is only thinking about getting himself off. That's much, much lower vibration, right? So you'll see that if you make this change. Overall, you'll have way more time to do the things that improve you. You'll no longer, you know, be tied up with this wasteful activity, and you can dedicate more time to training, to reading, to running, walking, learning, thinking, meditating, studying, anything that you want to do with your life. If you've just simply said, okay, cranking it is no longer part of my daily pie chart of time that I want to spend my life doing. Anything that can have a positive effect can now replace that. It can literally just be sitting outside instead. That's much, much better than jerking off. When you stack this over years, if someone who has a cheeky wank 20, 30 minutes a night over a few years, compare that to someone who meditates over a few years for the same amount of time, where are you going to be at the end of that time? Okay, so that's what you got to think about. You get a lot more time when you cease this. In conclusion, when you're not masturbating and you're retaining your semen, for all the reasons that I've listed and more, that is such a powerful force for young men to transmute and change into furthering their life, improving their life, and creating something out of themselves. The powers that be know this. That's why they want you to waste it all on jerking off, watching porn, and otherwise losing your sexual force. So we have a responsibility then to not give in to this corrupting force. I guarantee you that your energy, your life, and your motivation to do things will massively improve if you stop cranking it. And I highly recommend you do it, or don't do it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this has helped you. Before you leave, comment below your experience with this lifestyle change, and I would love to hear from you. Farewell.